Today we're diving deep into the epic story of Liverpool Football Club. It's a tale that's really forged in glory, but also scarred by unimaginable tragedy, and ultimately defined by an incredible, resilient redemption. And to really get Liverpool, you have to start with these words from their legendary manager, Bill Shankly. They just perfectly set the stage for a story that has always been about so much more than just a game. So let's get into it. The story of this footballing giant doesn't actually begin with some grand vision. Nope, it starts with a pretty bitter conflict over rent. Yeah, believe it or not, Liverpool Football Club was born from a simple argument. So back in 1892, the owner of Anfield Stadium, a guy named John Holding, he had a big falling out with his tenants, Everton FC. Everton packed up their bags and left, leaving Holding with this perfectly good stadium, but, well, no team to play in it. So what do? Holding did the only logical thing. He decided to create his very own club. And just like that, on June 3rd, 1892, Liverpool Football Club was officially founded. And things started off great. The club found success pretty quickly, winning multiple league titles in its early years. But after that championship in 1947, a long, slow decline started to set in. And this slide, well, it shows the grim end point. In 1954, the ultimate humiliation of being relegated to the second division. The club was completely lost until one man arrived to change literally everything. In 1959, this fiery Scotsman named Bill Shankly arrived at a crumbling, dilapidated Anfield. His arrival wasn't just a new hire, it was the beginning of one of the greatest transformations in the history of football. He didn't just rebuild the team, he rebuilt the entire club's mentality. He instilled this new, almost fanatical belief. And the progress was just staggering. Promotion back to the top flight in '62, winning the league just 2 years later, securing the club's first ever FA Cup, and then, finally, conquering Europe. He didn't just build a team, he built a powerhouse. Now, to build a lasting legacy, Shankly created the now famous boot room. It was this small, unassuming space where his coaching staff would gather, talk tactics, and basically shape the club's entire philosophy. This little think tank was the secret sauce, the key to making sure his winning culture would outlive his own time at the club. And I mean, the results, they just speak for themselves. His successors, guys like Bob Paisley and Joe Fagan, who came straight out of that boot room, they didn't just continue his work. They took it to another level. You can see it right here with the number of league titles they won. They built an absolute dynasty that dominated England and Europe for nearly 2 decades. But at the absolute height of its power, the club and its community would face 2 unimaginable tragedies, events that would change its identity forever. On May 29, 1985, during the European Cup final against Juventus in Brussels, tragedy struck. Before the match even kicked off, following crowd disturbances, a wall in the crumbling Heysel Stadium collapsed. 39 people, mostly Juventus fans, lost their lives. That disaster left this dark shadow over the sport and led to a multi-year ban from European football for all English clubs. Then, just 4 years later, somehow, an even greater tragedy unfolded, this time during an FA Cup semi-final at Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield. Because of catastrophic failures by the police and a dangerously unsafe stadium, a fatal crush occurred in the supporters' pens. 97 men, women, and children went to a football match and were unlawfully killed. What followed that horror was a systematic campaign of lies. The police tried to blame the innocent supporters for their own catastrophic failings, feeding false stories to parts of the media. This infamous headline right here became a symbol of that malicious cover-up. But the fight for justice that came next became a defining characteristic of the club and the entire city. For 27 long, painful years, the families of the victims fought relentlessly for the truth. This timeline shows just a piece of their arduous journey, which finally ended in vindication in 2016, when a jury officially established what they had known all along. In the middle of all these difficult years, a single night in Istanbul provided this beacon of impossible hope, and it cemented the club's reputation for never, ever giving up. Okay, picture this. It's the 2005 Champions League final. Liverpool are being completely taken apart by a legendary AC Milan team. At halftime, the score is a humiliating 3-0. The game was over. Or was it? In 6 minutes of just unbelievable, chaotic brilliance, Liverpool scored 3 goals to level the match. They somehow managed to hold on through a tense extra time and then went on to win it all on penalties. To this day, it is still considered the greatest comeback in the history of the competition. Yet, despite that European miracle, the domestic league title, the one they really wanted, remained just out of reach for 30 long years. That weight became this heavy burden until another transformative figure arrived. In 2015, Jürgen Klopp walked in, and he immediately seemed to just get the soul of the club. His first promise was simple but so powerful: to turn doubters into believers. And he did just that. He instilled a new belief, and his high-energy, heavy-metal football created these unforgettable nights. And none more so than this comeback against Barcelona. They were down 3-0 from the first leg, but they stormed back at a thunderous Anfield to win 4-0. An unbelievable victory that propelled them to their 6th Champions League title. And then, in 2020, he delivered the Holy Grail. After 3 decades of heartbreak and so many near misses, Jürgen Klopp's Liverpool were crowned champions of England. The long, painful wait was finally over. So this entire journey of triumph, tragedy, the fight for justice, and that ultimate redemption, it has forged this unbreakable bond between the club and its city. It's all really embodied in their anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone." After Hillsborough, it took on a much, much deeper meaning. It's not just a song sung before a match. It's a promise. It's a testament to a community's resilience and a symbol of solidarity in the face of just unimaginable loss. It leaves us with a final thought. Liverpool's history is filled with trophies, for sure, but it is defined just as much by its scars. And it begs the question, what makes a club more than just a game? Perhaps it's that shared experience of both profound victory and profound sorrow that truly forges an unbreakable identity.